All right, guys, what's up? This is Aaron from Metro East Libertarians again. I'm bringing you another stream about, unfortunately, we're going to talk about David Jerome again tonight. So this will be the 50th video I put on this channel, and unfortunately 3 of them feature Mr. Jerome. I didn't intend it to be that way, but the guy keeps giving me material, so I'm going to keep running with it. Look, the election's tomorrow, so if you haven't made your choice on who you're going to vote for by tonight, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not really going to tell you who to vote for tonight. Again, I don't have any skin in this game. I live in the township. I don't live in the city. So, you got to do what you got to do. Everything that you've heard from the candidates up until this point hopefully have shaped that decision. So, but basically, I just want to go over this again. These guys did a live stream over on Concerned Citizens. Not Concerned Citizens. Collinsville Connection. Jed Robbins hosted it, and I think they're on to me because they used a mobile device and they shot it upright, and the audio was terrible, and the lighting was terrible. So I don't know if they were trying to avoid me grabbing the video and doing one of these reviews. If that was the case and they were trying to thwart my efforts to do so, sorry, I got a way around it. I did a little color correction on it, and the audio was good enough. The shaky camera and everything, it was borderline unwatchable, but whatever. I didn't watch it live because I was busy. All right, so here's the thing. I just want to run these real fast. Each candidate gave a 10-minute talk of basically like a statement of candidacy, gave a few arguing points. And I just want to break down a couple of things that David Jerome had to say. And then I'm going to play something else that I think has been kind of a point of contention between Jerome and some other citizens in Collinsville as well. And basically the point I'm getting here, this isn't really about, obviously this video is about David Jerome. I don't really care about David Jerome. The thing is, he's a lawyer, and he'll make a comment, you'll hear him say, I don't want to be a politician. I want to be a leader. The fact is, the guy's a lawyer. I don't mean to paint with a broad brush or say that lawyers are bad people or whatever, but, he kind of thinks that, in my opinion, what I see from him is that he thinks he can speak in a convincing and clear and intelligent way, which he does, but then using that basically kind of get away with anything. And so I saw Jon Stewart several years ago basically, run some clips like this, and he said, don't these people know they're being recorded? And, we have archives of this. Well, I'm going to kind of call him on some contentions that he makes. All right, so let's go. Now, this clip is going to come in right after he's talking about bringing businesses into Collinsville and working together with businesses to let them know that Collinsville is an attractive community to live in and everything. So, again, I didn't edit this in a way to try to misrepresent what he said or anything, but at the same time, it was a 10-minute statement of candidacy. And so I obviously, in the interest of time, I didn't use the whole run. All right. So, here we go.
GPS. But for us, this car has been stalled. Up until about a year ago,
all right. So he says he was talking about the Economic Planning Commission being the GPS of the car, and the car was, I don't know, the city council or something, I don't remember. It wasn't a very good analogy. But now he's saying the car has been stalled. All right.
We have been at a standstill where there has not been much going on in the way of development. And to understand what I mean, you have to understand historically where the city has been. In the past, the 2 incumbents that we're up against have focused on one thing, and that was cutting taxes. And so it sounds good. It's a good soundbite because no one wants to pay taxes. No one wants to have waste. The problem that's occurred is through time, though, the cutting of those taxes has also meant that they've been cutting budgets for street department, fire department. And so what that's led to is a...
Okay, so right there. Back a few years ago, before Stamen and Bromlich were on the board, or on the council, Mike Tognerelli was on the city council. Now, I don't know what happened to him, if he got voted out or whatever. This was during a time where I was going over to Afghanistan a whole lot, and I wasn't really paying it a lot of attention. So, Mike Tognerelli used to work for the street department. And so, and to say that they cut the budget for the street department, so he would be the only one that could have voted with Jeff Kipta and Nancy Moss to cut anything. Because other than that, it was, if Mike Tognerelli didn't vote with them, then it'd be 3-2, just like it is now. Any spending cut that's been wanting to go on for the last 2 years was going to have to make it past Stamen and Bromlich and the mayor, and it's just not going to happen. Okay, I mean, I don't know where these cuts are coming from. He's basically making this up, and now he's going to say the city budget or the street department budget's been cut, the fire department budget's been cut. Listen. Sorry, I just had to cut him off there and say that first of all, the setup is a fantasy. But let's keep going.
We sit here today. In talking with the street department, we are 10 years behind in the repairs and maintenance of our roads. As you have heard in prior times that I've spoken, we've been down to one working fire truck. And I know that someone at the last city council meeting had mentioned the fact that there had been a wreck of the fire truck, and there was, but that fire truck was 23 years old. By code, we're only supposed to be 10 years old.
Okay, so the fire truck that was wrecked was 23 years old. And by code, it's only supposed to be 10 years old before it gets a replacement. All right, now, so basically this thing should have been replaced in 2004, and it hasn't been. So I don't think anybody that's on the city council today was on it in 2004. I don't know why he's bringing this up. So, and the other thing is, he keeps bringing up this one fire truck operation. He doesn't say anything about this other fire truck that's on order. So they've got the one that was wrecked that will be replaced, once the insurance kicks in and everything. And then they've got one that the delivery of it is late. So I wonder how this would go if that other one wasn't late on delivery and there were actually two trucks and one being leased. And then the one that was wrecked. I mean, this wouldn't be a crisis. I don't know. I don't know what you would do. It's an interesting discussion, though. Okay.
So what we've got an infrastructure that's decaying, while all the while you're cutting and cutting and cutting. And what's going on with all of those cuts? Well, as you just heard a couple of city council meetings ago, we have a surplus of $15 million. That's money that's well in excess of any surplus that we need. So what have we been doing? We're putting the money into a savings account versus reinvesting into ourselves.
All right, so he doesn't really go on to say what reinvesting into ourselves means, but $15 million, I mean, I don't think a fire truck costs even $2 million. I'm not sure on that. If you work for the fire department and you know exactly how much a fire truck costs, let me know. What is interesting, though, is as a libertarian myself, if I hear that you have $15 million in the bank, what I'm hearing is that you've taken $15 million extra dollars from the community that you didn't need. Now, this $15 million didn't show up overnight. It had to been, some of it had to been there when the utility tax was increased, right? I mean, is that a surplus from this year? When they raise the utility tax by 220%? So that's very interesting. So, the city has taken too much money from the citizenry. There haven't been any budget cuts. He keeps talking about these phantom budget cuts that couldn't have come from anywhere because Moss and Kipta can't get a vote through. He blames them for being obstructionists and everything. Come on, man. The city council's 3-2. I mean, what have they won? Please tell me what they've won. Again, none of this matters. It's all academic, based on the fact that the election's tomorrow. But I don't know. That's ridiculous. All right, let's go to the next one here. Now, this is the one. This is going to be interesting. I hope you guys follow this.
I want to be a leader, not a politician. And by that, what I mean is, recently you've seen signs talking about how we have the Donna and I are trying to inspect your homes. It's a falsity. It is not based on anything we've ever said. So we found out who...
Now remember that. That's going to be important. It's not based on anything we've ever said. Those words are going to be important in a minute.
Who put up these signs? The Metro East Landlord Association. We met with them on Friday. They agreed with us after meeting with us for over 2 hours that the information was false. But during our discussions, they were going to vote on this, and they voted not to take the signs down. Disappointing for me, because when someone keeps a sign up that they know is false, that to me is disappointing. As a politician would say, well then by golly, I'm not going to work with them because they're spreading falsities about me. As a leader, I know that no matter what, if I win, this is 30% of our homeowner.
All right, and then so Jed cuts him off because he reaches the end of his time. Okay, so it's very interesting what he said there at the end as well, which isn't really related, that he doesn't want to be a politician, he wants to be a leader. And as a politician, he would respond to this group that spread falsehoods about him by saying, I'm not going to work for those people. But since he's a leader, he knows that, you can't just not try to work for a third of your constituency. That's very interesting. I'm if that's his experience with politicians, and he's saying he's not going to be that. I don't know. Good on him, but I think he's kind of painting a weird picture there, right? Like, is the mayor a politician then? Is that what he's saying? I don't know. Okay. Now I don't know who the Metro East Taxpayers Association is. Full disclosure, I don't know anything about them. But let's cut to this sign. You might have seen these around town, and they're at a couple multifamily residences, and there are a few other places. I don't know where all they're at. So this is the sign that he's talking about that says, Jerome and Green want to inspect your home. Vote no, Jerome, no, Green, April 4th. Okay, that's not really how voting works. It actually, you're going to have to vote positively for Moss and Kipta if that's what you want. So, and there was some discussion going on. If you guys are on this website called Nextdoor, there was some discussion on there where they were saying they're going to vote, people were going to vote for inspections. Well, there's to my knowledge, there's no ballot referendum in the city that would create an inspection scheme. But where did this idea come from? He said this is not based on anything we've said. Those being the operative words. Oh gosh, where could this idea have come from? Well, let's see. Let's go back to ancient history. This is March 7th. This was, almost a full month ago. Let's see.
In a city council meeting last year, Mayor Miller said that he wanted to fast-track occupancy inspections and permits to start in 2017. Nationwide, these laws are being overturned on reasons of unconstitutionality. What position does each candidate hold on this issue, meaning for or against?
Okay, great. Now here is where they're going to tell us exactly they're against it, right? According to what he just said, they're definitely going to give a negative answer here that they're not for this scheme.
And that goes to Donna first.
Okay. So because of what we do for a business and our family, I see both sides of occupancy permits. When we're trying to work on a home in another community that has an occupancy permit, it actually in some instances in some towns feels corrupt. And so it's kind of a hot topic in our home about this. Having said that, the state that Collinsville's in, with the very high amount of rental property that we have and the number of properties that have not been taken care of over the years, and just the decline in our property values, something has to give. In order for me to vote yes on an occupancy permit, it will be well thought out. There will be safeguards in place so no corruption can happen.
Okay, well, she didn't really say yes, but she also didn't close the door on it. Okay, so she said, she kind of gives an argument of why it would be needed, and then says under what circumstances she would vote for it. Okay, well, that's not no, right? I mean, that's like yeah, we would do it, maybe if we did it in this way. And again, I said this in my other video. These other towns do have a corrupt inspection system where it's widely known that there's certain ways to get through the inspection. There's some favoritism going on and things like that. But she says, we'll have to do it smart, make sure there's no corruption. Oh, okay. Well, I guess Belleville just didn't think of that, right? Belleville left the door open for corruption, and lo and behold, it was weird. All this corruption came in. Get out of here. This is not how government works. You don't just... Anyway, you can't just shut the door on corruption. Okay, well, that was Donna's answer, and, she's not the slick talker that Jerome is. And again, being transparent, her husband works... he's got his own business. I believe he's doing HVAC nowadays. I'm not really sure. He was a carpenter. I don't know what all aspects that he does. I've hired him for some work. I really like Donna's husband. He did great work for me, saved me a bunch of money, got me out of a kind of a tough situation with a property that I had. So I don't want you guys to think I'm being ill about these people personally or whatever. Okay, well, let's see. Now it's Jerome's turn. So he got to sit here the whole time while Donna answers the question and come up with his no answer because he doesn't want to inspect your home. That's definitely not what he's for. So let's hear his no.
The occupancy permit or health and safety permit programs that have been deemed unconstitutional are usually the ones where they try to do more than focus on the safety of the property.
Okay, well, we're kind of off to a bad start saying no because he's kind of drawing the lines and saying what problems with some of them are, and he even, gives them a fancy name so people can be familiar with them. Okay, let's check it out where he goes from there.
What they're trying to do is register the occupants, and that's what goes beyond what the health and safety or occupancy permit program is intended to do. What it's intended to do is to have minimum standards. Minimum plumbing, minimum electrical, so that you don't have a building that's going to catch fire or catch vapors that will kill its occupants. An occupancy permit program is doable, but it has to be one that it works with the landlords so that you don't end up hindering them so that they have to wait for an inspector to come out. You don't want to have any type of delays like that. But if you focus exclusively on the minimum standards of the building, it's clearly going to be constitutional. And there have been some cities around here, including O'Fallon, that have got some pretty good ones that we can mimic and ones that we can take a look at to because of their simplicity and their low cost.
Oh, okay. So I just kind of want to know, in what world is that a no? I mean, he literally said that O'Fallon is doing it really well, and here are all the benefits. He basically gave an argument for it, argued that it would be unconstitutional, talked about why other programs are unconstitutional and his would not be, and then expresses admiration for O'Fallon's program. But that's a no. On what planet is that a no? I mean, get out of here. So he said just on Sunday, it's not based on anything we said. This is a total falsehood. The Metro East Landlord Association, whoever those people are, agreed that it was false. Okay, well, I don't know if they just didn't have this video, which is available on YouTube. You can find it on the Collinsville Chronicle's website. I don't see the problem here. I mean, that was obvious. In my mind, both of them said, yes, we would vote for a inspection scheme under these conditions. And they've obviously thought about it. They always obviously see the pros that it could bring to Collinsville. So anyway, that's where I'm saying these guys, don't you know this is being recorded? All right, so I'm at 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. This is going to be the last video you see from me until this weekend when I stream our Libertarian convention, and that's going to be a good time. So most of my effort's going to be focused on that. Man, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel. Like I say, we're going to be covering a ton of local issues around the area. One more word before I go. If you haven't decided on these sales tax initiatives, so Jerome, if you go and watch the whole video, he goes on about the sales tax. He's not trying to raise anybody's property tax. He wants to bring businesses into Collinsville so that people will pay sales tax in Collinsville, and 70% of the city's budget is based on sales tax. Those are direct quotes from him. I don't know if that number's true. If Madison County passes this 1% schools facilities sales tax, you can basically throw all those plans out the window. So if you're going to vote for David Jerome and Donna Green, I highly recommend you vote against the sales tax. If you're not going to vote for them, I likewise highly recommend you vote against the sales tax. I meant to do a whole video on that. The Madison County GOP put out some good information. There's some good information on the Metro East Libertarians Facebook page about these taxes, specific to Randolph County, St. Clair County. The same rules apply. Illinois Policy has also been doing a ton of good information, and I just didn't have time to put out a video about it. So, again, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I appreciate you guys.